right, this is Coach MJ. We're back on the Real Mission I'm Possible show. Today I have a guest who's come from the battlefield to the boardroom. Her name is Her Excellency, Professor Dr. Betty Speaks. I'm going to have her come in and unpack her story with us during our fireside chat. And in just a moment, you're going to hear from her firsthand what her journey was, where she came from, her humble beginnings, what her aspirations were, and then what she's doing today and how maybe she might impact you or your organization. Welcome, Professor Dr. Betty Speaks. Thank you for coming in today.
Oh, thank you. What a pleasure it is to be with you.
So it's wonderful to have you here today, Professor Dr. Betty Speaks. And I just want you to come in and give us an idea. Where do you come from? First of all, where were you brought up? Where did you live? What was that like? Where were you in your family? Are you the firstborn or the lastborn? Tell us a little bit about your background.
Coach MJ, what a pleasure it is. What an amazing question. I want to tell you that I have a military background. I was actually born in the state of Georgia, stayed there until the age of 6. My mom did the Moses thing with me, left me with my father's mother, came back and got me at the age of 6, moved me to Florida, stayed with her for a few years, did the acceleration program, was wanting to graduate out of high school, wanted to just find my own identity because when she transferred me to her family, that wasn't my family, it was her family. So I graduated from high school at the age of 15. Then I joined the military, thinking that was going to answer my problems of being singled out or being alone. But that was an eye waking. I joined the military when the title was Fun, Travel, and Adventure. Just wanted to see the world. Stayed in the military for 4 years, thinking I had my life together. Then I had to do another 4 years because still I'm not that child that was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I had to purchase my own car, just take care of my own living habits. So I decided to stay on in another 4 years, and before long, it ended up being 20 years retiring from the military, having my share of journeys on both friendly and unfriendly grounds, and being a leader, learning how to be a leader even in the military. So I didn't want to stay at home and be a hang around like most high school students do. They don't have a plan once they graduate, but the military did train me, learned a lot from mentors such as yourself and other leaders that just pulled me into the military to successfully graduate, to successfully retire. But upon retiring, life wasn't over even at that point. I thought that I had been on enough battlefields and things of that nature. I battled with cancer in 2018. And then after cancer, life just continued to give me challenges. I had a podcasting after that, after dealing with cancer, overcoming battles by being strong and courageous. I've had that podcast show until I was too sick to even run it again, and it's manifesting again. I'm currently on a radio show, WDRB Media, where I come on every Saturday at 11 o'clock for 30 minutes. I actually talk about being the first responder. You're the first responder to your own life. No matter what challenges you go through in life, you have to know that you're possible. You're someone that's created to be possible to do anything that you choose to. So that is where I am right now. My life journey is so intense. I believe in living intentionally for eternity. It doesn't matter of all the challenges that life has given me. So currently, my favorite thing to do is inspire others with hope, help other people excel, help other people enjoy life, and help other people every day through any means necessary. I'm going to give it back over to you, Coach MJ, because you're going to have me getting emotionally here shortly.
All right. Thank you so much. Boy, that was a lot. I got to tell you, you had a big bag full there. And just for those people who are veterans themselves and come from military families, just to get to know you a little bit better, you were in the United States Army, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. What was your MOS?
So I was a senior logistician. It was 92 Yankee. It started out in the early years, 76 series, but then I also had a secondary, which was 71 Lima administrative, and that became human resource. So even after retiring, I worked at Boston University in the ROTC department for those officers that wanted to become officers in the military. So I was a logistician and a human resource manager.
Okay. And you said you got deployed into battlefields. Where was that?
So I was on that first assignment to Iraq, and I've been to the Saudi Arabia. That's when I encountered several terrorist attacks in Saudi. And that's basically it. So, because of being in Saudi Arabia, I was in a terrorist attack there that has left my left eye impaired. So, a lot of people don't even know that I am legally blind in my left eye, but it doesn't stop me from doing the things that I need to do. It's not an ailment for me. So I don't share that with a lot of people, Coach MJ, because I don't want them to PREY over that I. I rather that they PRAY and ask that the scale be removed. That's why I
Amen.
don't share that with so many people.
Amen. May it be removed. We'll say a prayer for you today. In fact, tell us a little bit about you were in Saudi Arabia. That's not exactly the most friendly environment for a woman, let's just say. I know that you were wearing army green, but what was it? Give us a little bit of an idea what a funny day you might have had over there. Just break it down for us.
The very first day at the airport, we had to take the Chinooks over, but it was when the Arabians, when we got there and they went through the women's luggage and they took away our Bibles, because in America, we like to write notes and scribble and just doodle in our Bibles. And then they took away our pantyhose that were in packaging, brand new packagings, because we had to down in their garment. But I was thinking, okay, if I'm going to wear their dress, I want to have on pantyhose because that's what the way I was brought up to not show my legs. But because the bare leg was shown on the outer package, they took our pantyhose away. And it was just a leg that was on the packaging that showed the coloring of the pantyhose. So that was like, seriously? Are you mean to tell me they didn't want women to show any part of their bodies, and you could not have anything that revealed anything of a woman's body in your luggage? So that was definitely a culture shock. And to wear their clothing over the uniform, 98, 100 degrees, we still had to wear their dawn in their black clothing over our uniform was another culture shock and extremely hot. So
Wow.
I see your expressions.
Because I've been out there and I know what it's like. Tell me this, how long were you in country?
I was there for, it was supposed to have been 6 months, but it ended up being eight because I was also there during the time when Daharan was went through the terrorist attack, and I actually stayed in the diplomatic building that when that attack took place. So because of so many, there were not necessarily that many casualties. I think it was like 19 that were fatal, but it was more than 300 that were actually injured. So they needed essential personnel to stay there to keep the mission going and also to be there to counsel those that would still be there and those that were coming. So they need the continuity to stay there. And what better person to stay there than those that are in charge? It doesn't matter what you're going through, but you have to be there to be that leader over those that will be going through something or that are afraid to even come over there and be exposed to something else.
Yeah, I got to ask you, out of 8 months that you were there, I know you served and you had your military assignments to do, but did you ever get a day off? And what did you do on your day off?
The days off were that even that day, June 26th of 96 was when the terrorist attack, the worst one, took place. We had just finished a nice long morning or evening run, and we ran in the evenings because of the weather. And then we were planning on going in, taking a shower, cooling off, and going to an 8 or 9 o'clock movie. And that was it. They had movies and they had things there on base for us to do to entertain our times. We played volleyball. They made the living standards comfortable for us there because we were Americans. We're used to the camaraderie. And so it was just that night changed so many other things. It changed the fun of being there on a joint assignment, mind you. This was the first of many joint assignments that I was enjoying. Having the Marine Corps, the Navy, the Air Force, we're all fellowshipping and serving our country together by protecting or building community in another country. So we did the volleyballs and run the runnings in the evenings together. It was no army running or Air Force teams running by themselves. We did things jointly and enjoyed that community that we were building with one another. It was amazing.
Yeah, and that's something that you wouldn't really know unless you were part of that whole, like you say, community. But then the fellowship just comes
Yes.
automatically because you have so much in common with those people and so little in common with anyone outside of your
Ah,
compound, right?
yes.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Ah,
And you think we're here to protect and serve, but at the same time, I don't know why I'm feeling this animosity, but I just don't like it out there. Right?
exactly.
I get it 100%. You served there, and then where else did you go besides Saudi?
I was on Bad Dag, the first assignment, because logistics, we had to go in and set up like the water pipelines
So,
and
so then you were on that team. I heard about this. There was a team of you guys tunneled down somewhere in Baghdad and found
yes,
some gold. And now you've got that gold and you've got it hidden somewhere. And
not
you
every
bought a bunch of Bitcoin with it. Come on, now, I know you're rich.
this young lady here, even though I've been on those assignments, like I said, that are friendly and unfriendly, I still had to keep that leadership mindset. You have soldiers here with you. You have to make sure that the first vehicle, you're not too close to the first. It's just certain things you have to keep
Sure.
in mind. You have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
stay a
yeah.
certain
A
distance.
discipline protocol.
Yes, that, because there was still when someone says there are minefields or someone you might see a scud flying through the air, people really don't know. This is the first time I've been on an interview where someone has asked me the questions that I buried the answers to, because some you have to sign the Uncle Sam still hadn't released me yet for some of the assignments that I've been on. They will forever be in my memories, and the fact that a soldier will ask you, "So why can't I do this? Because you're not supposed to do it. Or why can't I go over here? No, you have to stay within so many feet of this vehicle so I can keep eyes on you. Do not get out of my peripheral visions." So even staggered with marching, staggered with driving our vehicles, that I've seen it
So you're
um,
under danger all the time when you were in
all the
Baghdad.
time. Even today, I still have a fellowship with my veteran sisters and brothers because I always say we see each other. We know the things and that we have seen. It's like Star Trek. We've gone places where no one wants to go. So if I'm at a veterans event or even at a community event and there's some of my sisters and brothers there, and someone might not understand why they are standing next to the exit door or why they are the only ones sitting at the exit door, or if they jump to the sound of a drum beat or a car backfiring. I understand it. Or if we're out eating someplace and then there's a smell of meat that's cooking, I understand what
There's
it
no
is that they're
there's
going
no
through.
no shame in PTSD anymore. That's just it's something that was in the air, something that happened. It was
Right.
traumatic. And for you
Yes.
not to experience that, for you to not internalize that, for you to not
Ah,
emotionally process that would make you not human. If
be
you're
ah,
human, that's what it means.
that part right there. That part, being human.
Yeah, not too many people had to go through that. And we thank you and
Yeah.
appreciate your service. And to all the people out there who went through their moments out in the military service when they were putting the
Mhm.
uniform on, for all of us who every day take our freedoms really for granted. We look at the news every day and we go, oh, I don't like this. I don't like that. What they don't see is all the people behind the scenes who make those
Right.
sacrifices, who get up in the morning at 3 a.m., who put on their uniform, who are out there on their duty station, making sure that they're walking their patrol or they're following their protocol They're doing what they were assigned to do because they are professionals. They take the mindset of excellence and they make sure that they get out there
Mm,
and deliver that every single moment of every single day when no one is watching.
no one is watching.
Thank you to all the men and women who serve in our military. I
Yes.
want to ask you another question now. We're getting off. We're going to switch gears here just for a minute. I thank you for sharing that because we need to get into it. But also, then you actually, when you came out of the military now, you say 20 years. God bless you. Thank you very much for that. And then you did you decide then to go and get your doctoral degree after that? Were you studying while you were in school, in the service, or where did
Well,
that path come from?
I did get several degrees while I was in the military, stationed in Fort Hood, Texas. I started out getting an AA, and then it was as if every time, in order to get promoted,
Yeah,
you
all
had
right.
to be
Sure.
successful.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, okay, I got a degree in this right here. This is going to make my promotion points get here. And
Correct.
then if I do this military training, I get this minute. So it started out being me wanting to keep up with my peers, or when I saw a leader that wasn't being a good leader, I would always tell myself, when I become that person, I'm going to be a better leader. I'm going to train myself to be a better leader. You're wearing my rank is one of the things I would always say to a person. You're wearing my rank, or you're wearing a title that I should be wearing, because it's not about you. You're taking that title and you're using that title, but you're not implementing the position that you're in. You're not applying the position. So I always said, you're going to do this. You need to do this. And so that's how I became. Before long, I was educated. I had a degree, and then I got another degree. And people were so disappointed. Even I call him my roommate now, but my husband, he says that, oh, you just got promoted because you're a minority. And that hurt the core of my heart. It wasn't because of the
Oh,
trainings that I did, it wasn't because of the
oh,
education
yeah.
that I
The
did. It was,
sacrifices or the sweat
yes,
or anything else. Oh
yes,
no, okay.
yeah.
You think
So
I got this because I'm in a beauty competition. All right, I
yeah,
get
a minority. A
it.
minority. Yeah, you're Black African American. They had to do the status. And I said, no, that had nothing to do with it. It was a point system, but I got the points based on the things that I had accomplished in the military. And so that urged me to keep going. Even after retiring, Coach MJ, I still didn't have enough education because life was still changing. We have to, when things are still changing, you want to be a part of the change. That's why I have the business of Life Change Now. Life Change Now. Live intentionally for eternity. Now, no other way. Now, new opportunity window. And that now just keep going. It keeps going on. And that's how I was in the military. One of my girlfriends, when she had got back from Afghanistan, Betty, how do you keep going after all we went through? How do you keep going? I said, because we have to change. You have to change. You can't stay stuck in the past. That's even education change. Even it's changing today. We're using AI now. We're not using, so you have to keep up with changes. And that was a part of me getting educated. And I know I'm not done, coach, because there's so much more learning that I have to do because of all the changes that even the world is going through.
Every single day, a 13-year-old goes to bed the same time that we do, but when he wakes up, he's got a new idea that can change the world. Everything's changing every day. We don't have a chance. If we don't stay up with it, we're going to get left behind. There's no looking back. Things are not going to be like they were back in the days of Mayberry RFD.
There you have it. That's the answer to your question.
There you go. I'll tell you something. Now, when you got at least the unit, we know that you're constantly evolving, much like a caterpillar to a butterfly, and then you're going on to your next beautiful state, and that you got into theology. Tell us a little bit about that. Tell us about your mission.
Again, this young lady that contacted me February 3rd, 2014, was very hurt. over some things that had happened to her in the military. And I wanted to be there for her in Atlanta, Georgia. I had a conference in Atlanta. I flew there, checked into my hotel. Something was urging me to turn on the television, and I never watch TV because a lot of times it's just bad news, sad news, and I just get tired of hearing wrong news. So I turned it on this time, and there was this red and breaking news: female soldier commits triple homicide, or however they say it, but she had killed her three kids and then committed suicide, and she was 6 months pregnant. And we were on a joint force assignment together.
Oh
And I'm
no.
thinking, I'm like, it can't be, my friend. It can't be. And then her mother calls me and asks me, have I met up with her yet? And I'm thinking, not yet, but I'll call. Let me finish unpacking, just get into my hotel. And I couldn't call her back, not that night. But I went by the area where she lived, and they had the taping, the police cars, and that was devastating for me. So that in itself said that I was contemplating, Lord, what do I do? And then the word of life changed now, because all my friends are retiring from the military. We're all aging out of the military now. And you don't hear about women committing suicide as much as you do men. But the women we are higher than our numbers are much higher than the men's number. Then they kept saying, a life change now, life change now. And so I started writing and speaking at veteran hospitals, wherever they would have veteran women's that were in their groups as they retired out of the military. I wanted to speak to them. So it started out small, and then I kept hearing this life change now. And then before too long, years later, other people start coming out with live your best life, no life better than this life, everything dealing with life. And I'm thinking, Lord, you gave that to me, but you didn't do nothing with it. You didn't move on it. So I had to give it to someone else that was going to take action on it. I say that to say that anytime you hear the word and it's a positive word to make change in others' lives, take action on it. Because now I speak for NAMI, National Alliance Against Mental Illness. I speak at other events. An actor, Coach MJ, called me a couple of years ago. Betty, had I not spoke to you or not listened to your message, I was I would be dead today. I got in my car last night, put my weapon to my head, pulled the trigger, and it missed. I thought I was gone, but I missed. And I started thinking about my son who ran out the door to see what had happened. And I put my gun down. But I remembered what you said, living intentionally for eternity. I need to be there for my son. So there's so many individuals, not even now, I'm not just speaking to the military women, but there are police officers, nurses, actors. I've had so many actors even on my calls. So it's just people that want to not necessarily die, but they want to be able to speak with someone to about living. So that's where that was my next move. They want the pain to go away. They're not desiring to commit suicide. They just want that pain to go away. And what helps is when we tether together and tell them, think of the person that really love you that's living in your life today.
Yeah, there we go. We start with gratitude before we do anything else. Start
Yes.
with gratitude. And from there on, we can start to really understand the real aloe vera of the
Mm,
world when we can surround ourselves with all that thankfulness, because all of us have the ability to take a breath. And when you can
yes.
take a breath, then you've got something that some people don't have anymore, because there are others who just have already passed over. They don't have the ability to take that breath. So when you can breathe, that's already a good step. Now, if you do one, you can do two or three. By the time you've done 10, just calm right down and give Betty a call, because she's out there waiting for you, talking to you. Tell us about your cancer journey. I know it was, you say I had cancer. I'm a cancer survivor. You are too. I had it twice. But the thing is that everybody reacts to it differently. My journey was totally different than most people's. Tell us about yours. What was your darkest day?
This is August 8th, 2018. I'm having fun at 8 o'clock in the morning on August 8th, 2018, when my phone rings and it's my doctor. What doctor usually calls a patient? Normally they have a nurse or someone else call them, but it was my doctor, my personal doctor calling. And she said, Betty, I wanted to be the one to tell you this. And I'm like, tell me what? I'm in a happy mood because this is a historical date. This day will never come again for decades. So she said to me that I did several tests on your biopsies, and I ran the test over and over again, and it came back that you have cancer. And I'm thinking, all I hear is Charlie Brown's little operator going wah wah wah. Don't hear anything else. Cancer. I just hear that operator in my ear now. I can't even hear my doctor talking anymore. And finally she calls my name and I said, yes. She said, did you hear anything I said? I'm like, I'm stunned. I'm shocked. Me, cancer? I've raised thousands and thousands of dollars, 20,000, 10,000 dollars for America Cancer Society. I've walked the relay walks all night long for 24 hours or more.
Yeah, that's for the other people.
Yeah, I was like, Coach MJ, what? So after she said, I've done everything for you, I have your doctor's appointment, you have the best physician in the world. He's right there in your area. I don't hear any of that. I can't receive any of that. I've been on battlefields. I've fought for my country. I fight for my community. Why am I now fighting for cancer? Why this battle? So I honestly, for 2 weeks, I didn't say anything to anyone. I didn't cry. I wailed for 2 weeks. And then I couldn't shed a tear. And I heard this voice said, are you done? This is not about you. This is for the new tribe that's coming to you. You're going to live and not die. You're my chosen one. Go back and read Deuteronomy 14 and 2. You're my chosen one. And I'm thinking, what? I'm hearing all of this download. And then I get a phone call from this lady. South Carolina is not home for me. I have no family here, but I was mentoring this young lady's child. She's 45 minutes away. She says, Betty, I'm coming to your area. I wanted to know if you would like to do lunch today. First phone call I answered. And I started crying to her. This is the first time I cried and not well. She said, I'm on my way to your house. Text me your address. I'll be right there. That? She took me on my doctor's appointments. She had cancer. I always noticed this scar on her face. I'd never ask a question because if you don't volunteer, I'm not going to ask unless you're hurting. But it was skin cancer. And she says, I'm there for you. She cooked for me. She cleaned for me. No family member, all because I voluntarily.
Praise the Lord.
With her son. So that was my cancer journey. Now I do the walks still, and I'm there for others that are going through. My cancer was ovarian. Mine is in September. My father passed in the same year that my girlfriend committed suicide from lung cancer. So cancer is on the male side of the family, in my family, but every blue moon it will touch a female. So on my blue moon is when it touched me, and it happened to be, I found out on August 8th 2018, year of the great eights.
Wow, what a story. What an amazing background you have. I'm going to have to say, Dr. Betty Speaks, she's an active speaker. She's an advocate for change. She's an advocate for life after whatever competition you've had with life, because all of us are faced with something. But if you look at it like your problem, it will be. If you look at it your opportunity to learn, it shall be. And I believe that's really what our message is today. The impossible can be turned into I'm possible. She's lived it. Some of our other guests, you see who we have on these shows. Dr. Betty Speaks, thank you so much. It's been our honor and pleasure to have you here today. And we'll be reaching out to you soon. God bless and thank you. Thank you.